When did you get started in comedy?
Only 2.5 years ago. Only 2.5
Really?
years ago. Yep. I was working at Macy's, and it was a slow night, and I had I was that guy, I would just be I just make people laugh. We can talk about pretty much anything here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I used to go to the parking lot, smoke weed, you know, and I'd be on Adderall, and I'd always have a turbo iced coffee. You know what I mean? So I'd be constantly.
Sounds like a good time.
I would be constantly just making jokes. I'd be making things funny at work all the time.
That's only 2 years ago.
Yeah. And I've moved up to becoming an opener, so I'm a paid
Okay.
opener, which is pretty cool because there's
Paid
so
opener.
Yeah,
Wow,
because
nice.
it takes a long time to usually be able to move up, and I've done it, but at the same time I pay my dues. I work the door for another club, and
So tell me about your first time performing in front of a large audience.
all right. I opened for this local comedian in upstate New York. It wasn't New York City. It was upstate New York.
Okay.
And it was for I think it was a Subaru car rally. It was for
Really?
a cancer thing.
Yeah.
And it was probably about 250 people or so.
Damn.
And I had to do 10 minutes up front. And at that point, I had only been 2.5, 3 months in. And I was opening for a guy I really looked up to.
Yep.
Still kind of do. And I just remember that time. I mean, my feet were going weird. I felt that Jello feeling for real, And
Yeah.
I remember I did okay. I did fine. I did what I had to do to open it.
Yep.
Because the opener, you're going on a cold crowd. You're pretty much taking the bullet. And that night I had felt like I'd been shot. And but no, I did well. I did good enough for the headliner to kill it.
Who was your inspiration there? Who did you?
At
open
that time
for?
it was Nick LaValle. He's a local comedian.
Sounds familiar. I
Yeah.
feel like I might have heard the name.
He
before.
performs all over the nation. He's doing really good.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
he's
That's
awesome.
Now, before you get into comedy, were you ever afraid of public speaking or being in front of a crowd?
I used to
or-
drop out of college courses knowing that I have to do an oral presentation.
Really?
Yeah, so
Wow.
this came out of nowhere.
Wow.
Yeah, I've always had a huge fear of talking in front of people. Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
That surprises me.
Me too. No,
know,
I swear to
being
God,
a-
yeah. But you know what? As soon as I started comedy, I don't smoke really. Before I go up, I'm always cold sober usually.
You-
But then I had this. I actually went to Maine this past week, and I was far from sober.
well, in Maine, they have medical marijuana.
Yes, they had medical marijuana, and hey, you know what? I was sick that night, so I did one of those chocolate edibles,
Yes.
and it was a good time. I told because I was hosting the show, so that means I'm opening it and then going back up and up, and I said, so I have an anxiety disorder, and I just took an edible, and this is how I feel right now. I'm cool. Let's see how the show goes. So each time I went up there, I showed him what's up.
It
This is
coulda-
how I'm feeling.
Could have gone anywhere.
Yeah.
Right? Damn.
It was great though. Show went great.
Well, that's good. That's good. So when you first started in comedy, I take it you probably weren't paid. A lot of free gigs.
Oh, everything was free. Yeah.
Everything was.
Yeah.
Uh,
Still to this day, I'm still doing a lot of free gigs.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's good though. I mean, at least it gets your name out there.
Yeah.
Now, where do you come up with your material, or what's your biggest inspiration for your material?
Like I said, I get a lot of anxiety. It's crazy because I really do. I don't know. It's they call a doctor told me I get adrenal floods, which sounds exciting, But
Flooding.
it's like I get a lot of anxiety. So as soon as I feel something horrible, as soon as there's something bad happening in my life, I can make a joke out of it. If things are going really good, it's really not that easy.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's just I'll be on the highway. I hate highways. You know what I mean? And it's something about the speed and the traffic when I go to Boston.
Yep.
And it's my girlfriend. She always says to me, Paul, I know you get nervous on the highway, but just drive as safe as you can on the highway. And if you need me, text me.
On the highway.
And then I say to her, I don't think that's the safest way to drive on the highway. And then I press send. See, boom.
I get what you did.
Yeah.
There. I get that.
Yeah.
Growing up,
That was one of my hardest hitting jokes actually as I opened, so I want a little bit more for that, but that's okay. We'll keep on working on it.
Growing up, who did you look up to the most in comedy?
In comedy, I always liked. I never really watched stand up as a young kid. I guess I like Chris Farley though. He was probably my favorite.
I love Chris Farley.
Chris Farley was
I
probably
honestly
my-
wish he was still alive because
Yeah.
he had a talent,
And now that I'm older, I'd say I love Bill Burr, Louis, obviously those
Louis
two.
C.K., yeah.
And then if I were to go back a little bit, it would have to be Bill Hicks because I love what he did. He was, he was like a prophet. He was amazing.
No, he's very intelligent too.
Yeah, and you can't really. It's so hard because if you want to make like political statements, it's not easy because you want to keep your gigs coming.
Right.
So you want to be like, you want something that the majority of people are going to like. So I talk about living.